Hey, shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Shabbat Chanak, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak, Wadash. Shalom, shalom to the Lord's elect. Okay, this is going to be an in-transit lesson. Okay, and this is I'm gonna name this one. I'll work out the full naming, right? But I'm gonna name this one Economic D-Day just accelerated the global collapse, something like that. Okay, the Economic D-Day just accelerated the global collapse. Okay, the economic financial system, which that's the basis of all, transactions is buying and selling. That's the basis of society. That's the lifeblood. And you had the Fed secretary, one of the Treasury, the Secretary of the Treasury. I forget the guy's name, but pretty much came out and say they're going to do secondary sanctions against Iran, and then sanction and penalize anybody that does any business with Iran. Okay, and you have China is a big player in the whole story. China gets or Iran exports 90% of its oil to China. So really, this is economic warfare against China. We've been saying that for years. Okay, when Trump came in 2016, what happened? He went right after China, and he did tariffs. It was an economic war. Okay, so America is in war, with China, all right, economically. And all economic wars turn into what? Hot wars. Okay, which plays right along with World War III. And these nations ultimately taking off the gloves and going to war with each other. That's what it's all going to lead to. Okay, the whole peacetime, the whole peacetime, that's over with. There will be no peace, and the Most High is pretty much, he's stirring up the pot. He's mustering the host of the battle. He's having a cruel Lord, and I want to go into that, and this will be a quick lesson. He's having a cruel Lord implement these, crazy, policies. Okay, he's going to war with everybody. All right, overtly and covertly. Okay, in your face and then behind the scenes. He's going to war. All right, because Trump, he has to be that guy, man. He has to be that guy to usher in World War III. Or at least get it started to the point to where it can't be stopped. And maybe somebody else get in there, but he really gets it popping, and maybe he gets taken out. Maybe they at least take him out, or whatever it may be. But he's done his job. Or maybe they might do a dead man switch. Okay, but I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes, because it hasn't gotten. Ask yourself this: have things gotten worse, or have they gotten better? Okay, absolutely, they have gotten worse. I'm gonna go straight to the point. The scriptures say there's a time. Let me just read the context first. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay, now let me drop down. Verse 7. A time to no, that's not what I want. Where's the time to war? Right. Verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. We're done with the peace. There is no more peace, especially here in America. Remember, there's been relatively peace since, American hegemony. The America pretty much guaranteed peace in different parts of the world. Now, was there hell? Did America, the hammer, did it bring hell upon these other nations? Yeah. To pretty much submit everybody into that world order, especially to re-establish Okay, the petrodollar. But that system is completely done with going in with this war. So now the last ditch effort, okay, before missiles are flying, before cyber attacks, which these things are already happening, all right, is to do sweeping economic sanctions against Iran, but not just sanctions against Iran. This was sanctions against the whole world. Okay, anybody in any form, any fashion, doing business with Iran, okay, America's going to penalize and kick them out of the dollar system. Do you understand what that means? Okay, this is a major escalation that's going to go fly under the radar to your average American person. Okay, pretty much America's saying, hey, look, if you deal with Iran, we're going to kick you out of the dollar system. This is nothing other than accelerating the global collapse to bring in digital currency. That's really what it is. And pretty much they're like, hey, you're going to have to pick a side. There's no more riding the fence. There's no more gray area. It's either you're with us or you're with Iran, and you're an enemy of America. And that goes also for America's allies. America is puffing at their allies. Okay, at Europe, at China, okay, West Asia. Okay, the scripture's saying Obadiah how let me get that. How America's gonna be deceived. You can see how these nations, they don't wanna, just like what was it, Japan? Or was it Korea? It's one of them is either Japan or Korea that Trump basically asked to help them with Iran. And they're like, nah, we good. We're not going to do that. We don't want to go to war. Okay, so pretty much through this measure, a line is being drawn. And no more will you be able to, put it off, because the whole global system is interconnected through the world's reserve currency, the dollar. So this is going to push nations to move away from the dollar, and they already have these alternatives: the digital yuan, the digital ruble, okay, trading the other currencies, as well as the BRICS nations. You have a new pact with Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and a couple of other, Pakistan. I believe it's called the Mecca Agreement. So you can already see that people are moving away from the dollar. They're getting ready and prepared. These nations are not standing still. They're actively working on how to decouple, how to de-dollarize, and that's been going on for over a decade. Okay, now it's manifesting even more. America is waging war against the whole world, and America is getting ready to be isolated. We can see how America's allies are going to turn on America. America's cursing them out through Trump. Let me bring this out. Obadiah verse. Let me read 2. Behold, I have made thee. Let me read the top, right? The vision of Obadiah. Thus said the Lord power concerning Edom. You Edomites. And the Edomites, they're all, America, that's the stronghold of Edom. But you got Edom all around, scattered all around the world, in Europe, in Russia, and Ukraine, okay, Eastern and Western Europe, okay, Turkey is Edomites mingled in, all right, with them Arabs, okay. You have Australia, you have Canada, and they're all divided. That's the point I'm making. They're all divided. So they're definitely not united. Okay, America is cursing their own European allies out. Okay. It says, we have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Also, them small hats are Edomites. Okay. And who are the two hated nations on the planet Earth? All right, the state of Israel and America. Why? Because through active bombing, but also even more so through economic hitmen, economic wars, they have, destroyed hundreds of millions of people. I was watching a video with, what was it? He was a former CIA. He worked for the CIA. I forget his name. Was it Larry Edison, if I pronounce his name right? Or Larry? You know these guys. It's all time. Larry Wilkins. Okay, he wears those colorful shirts. Okay, and basically he was just going into how all these American sanctions that America has been waging war against these other nations have killed, tens of millions of people. And he said those numbers are probably a lot higher. I guess it was an organization that ran the number, that crunched the numbers. Because what happens when you put sanctions on a nation? It stops medicine from coming in. It stops food from coming in. It stops water from coming in. It stops particular goods that are necessary for life to come in. And Iran basically said, through either their foreign minister or some spokesperson, basically any nation that adheres to those sanctions, and stops Iran, stops these nations from bringing in medicine and doing this and bringing in these important goods, like say they get medicine from China or whatever it may be, or medicine from Pakistan, whatever it may be, right? Antibiotics. And because of these sanctions, it stops. Well, they say, hey, look, we're gonna anybody who adheres to those sanctions, they're pretty much an enemy and can be made a target and will be targeted. You also have China that basically said, or made it, well, for their country, that it's illegal to adhere any of those businesses that are in China. It is illegal to adhere to follow U.S. sanctions. It's literally built into their government, and China pretty much is basically saying that this is illegal. They're gonna, and at the end of the day, these nations are gonna do what's best for them. Okay, they see America falling. Let me read. All right, like it says, let us rise up against her in battle. So now they're like, you know what? Hey, look. Hey, let's get together. We're going to fight this motherfucker. He doing too much. Why is he doing this? And people are like, what? What's wrong with this guy? With Trump. He's the cruel Lord. And it's not that it's Trump. It's his bosses. It's his masters. Trump is just the figurehead, okay? Trump is your Ronald McDonald of the corporation you call America. When you see Ronald McDonald, okay, the mascot of McDonald's, you're not looking at him as the actual owner, okay, the CEO. You're not even the CEO, but you're not looking at him as the actual founder and owner of McDonald's. He's just the mascot. Okay, even your CEO, they're just the spokesperson. Okay, you have the board members that actually control the shares of McDonald's or any corporations. The board members that actually own it. Okay, so who are the board members of America? The wicked elite. They tell the U.S. congressmen and legislators, lawmakers, okay, senators, presidents, what to do. And anytime anybody get out of hand, what happens? They'll get taken, they'll get blamed for particular things, or their dirt come up, because they're all under blackmail, or they get assassinated, or they get kicked out of office. They get pressured and bullied out of office. Okay, their name gets defamed. They have to leave office. Okay, let me continue. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Everybody hates this place. Everybody hates the Edomite. Okay, everybody hates the small hat. All right, and all their sins are starting to bubble back up. Okay, and the hypocrisy of America saying, "Oh, you can't do this." What about like America will curse out China because of the Uyghur Muslim population, and China will treat them like shit, and America will bring up human rights. And China now is at a point militarily where they can talk back. They're like, man, look, he's like, America, you have no justification, no room to talk about anything about human rights. And they'll just bring up the fact of slavery, the fact of stealing the land from the North American Indians, and all the other sins, okay, of America, the sins of America's youth. Okay, bear with me. And again, you're not getting away with it. You are not getting away with your crimes. You are not getting away with your crimes. Okay? Give me a second. Bear with me. I'm trying to find some parking. Okay. It says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? This is why America's making these erratic movements so quick, so fast. Like, what did they do? Because he knoweth that he has but a short time. Okay? He knoweth that he has but a short time. Okay? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, he was able to go into the upper atmosphere, put his satellites up there. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the hidden things of Esau searched out? You have the Epstein class. Okay, you don't think these nations know what Esau is doing? Okay, and then a lot of them, they're the elite of those nations. They do it too. Not to the extent of Esau, but they get down too. Okay, they some freaks too. And this is why Yahweh Shai is coming to take all of them down. It's not like we're rooting for Russia, we're rooting for China, we're rooting for Iran. Okay, these nations are not our friends. Okay, they're all going down. They're getting ready to go. They about to. It's literally a Royal Rumble. Okay, that's essentially what's happening. It's a Royal Rumble that's happening. And Yahweh Shai is gonna come in the midst of that and throw everybody out the ring. Okay. They fighting over the championship belt, rulership of the planet Earth, getting ready to destroy the whole Earth. Don't give two shits about their own inhabitants. Okay? Don't give two shits about the Most High's people. They don't respect the Heavenly Father's people, the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Americans. They look at you as nobodies. So they're not going to reconsider not shooting missiles at America because you're here and you're innocent. Nah, you a casualty of war. Okay, and if the Most High left us here, we will be completely destroyed. We will be completely consumed. So all this actually is happening for the elect's sake. Okay, ultimately for all of Israel, but really for the elects now. Okay, that we won't be consumed. Okay, in the battle of the heathen, because it's literally the battle of the heathen. Okay, literally. Okay, Jake is really just spectators. They don't have any power. They don't have any say so. If Jake say anything, any of these Central and South American countries, okay, any of the North American Indians, you so-called black people, what nation are you black people here in America? You don't even have a nation. You're not even considered. You're not even numbered amongst the heathen. You're not at the UN, and even those West African and Central and South American nations that do have seats at the UN, a lot of them are nothing but sellouts. Most of them are all sellouts and have no power. They have no veto power. They're ignored, and then their country is completely taken over by economic hitmen. They don't own the resources. Okay, give me a second. Drinking some tea. I'm a little hyped up, man. I meant to get to some other lessons. So Lord's when the Sabbath about to come in. So I'm going to get to some more lessons. Bear with me. All right, but things have really, really accelerated. Okay. Verse 7. This is the point. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The confederacy means, allies. Okay. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Right. All your allies that you were at peace with, Esau. And this is going to bug out the American Edomite. Like it's going to literally bug them the hell out that they're going to be isolated. You're going to be at the brunt force. Okay, how do they say it? I forget how they say it, but the roles are going to be reversed essentially. That's what I'm trying to say. When Americans, they turn on the TV and they hear about Iraq being bombed, or this happening, or America waging war against Vietnam, or whatever it may be. There's no emotion really there. There's really no emotion. You don't really know what it is for a nation to apply economic pressure on you. The tariffs and embargoes and bombing campaigns. Could you imagine Russia and China bombing America, basically saying you need to submit? You could even imagine that. Embargoes, stopping the flow of goods, not allowing you to sell your energy, not allow you to have a voice in the global economy. Could you imagine your standard of living dramatically dropping down? I mean, not even have you create particular businesses to sell, and you've been kicked out of the global financial system. You can't sell your goods, only amongst your own. You couldn't even imagine that. But that's what's getting ready to happen. So you're gonna be at the brunt force. And this is all the Heavenly Father. The Lord is breaking up your alliances. And it's happening quick. It's happening so rapid. Meanwhile, you have major natural disasters here in America. Okay. You have a civil war. And as this war turns up, there's going to be more dissent and sedition here in America, which is going to pretty much cause uproars. Okay. You're going to collapse from the inside. But what's going to happen, they're going to have to bring in a force. They're going to have to bring in major military force. Okay? Major military force to take this place, to take back control. There goes your police state. And then what's going to be the answer to all the problems are going to be the RFID microchip. Okay? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. And none of your wise men, none of your mighty men are going to be able to save you from these things that are coming upon you. Okay, we'll just finish up in Isaiah, the 19th chapter. The cruel Lord, man. Isaiah 19:3. Oh, let me start at 2. This is one of my favorite chapters. There's a couple of verses here, but it's just a banger. Okay, you can start at the top, but I'm gonna start at 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay, you modern day Egyptians, or you Edomites. Okay, and Jake is thrown in there too, because you go down to Egypt and you got niggas that actually believe that they're ancient Egyptians, but you got niggas that really believe that they are American. Like they have some type of national identity. They identify with America. They don't identify with Africa, and I get it because we're not African, but they don't even try to look into their roots. And now, and it's crazy too, because all this is happening, okay, in the midst of the Hebrew Israelites out there on the highways and hedges telling the whole world what's getting ready to happen. Okay, also waking up our people which we don't wake them up. We speak the words that the Most High puts in our mouth, and that does the waking up. But preparing the elect to wake up before the Royal Rumble, before World War III, before the return of Yahweh Shai. So that's highly coincidental, right? It's highly ironic, right? That in the midst of these nations getting ready to destroy themselves, all right, the nation of Israel are being woken back up, telling you who you are. But a lot of you Jakes, you reject it, and you want to be a modern day Egyptian. Essentially, you want to be an American, because America, Babylon the great city, as it says in Revelation 11:8, is spiritually Sodom, spiritually Egypt. I don't have to tell you why it's spiritually Sodom, right? And guess what? How did Sodom go out? Okay, that's the same way America's going to go out. This place is done. It's effed. It's cooked. Okay, so the Lord has pretty much planted division here in America. Nobody can, there's no cohesion. Nobody can agree on a path forward. Okay, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Not only here in America, but you're going to fight against Europe. You're going to fight against the beast. The beast is going to fight against you. The beast is also going to shoot missiles on you. You're going to get kicked out of all your bases. Okay. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. Nothing that you're doing is working. Okay. You try, sanctions are not working. All right. Military action is not working. Quantitative easing is not going to work. All right. You implementing digital currencies and digital IDs. That's not going to work. Are you bringing down the police state? That's not going to work. Are you also implementing the RFID microchip? That's not going to work. Nothing's going to work. It's all going to fail. City against city and kingdom against kingdom. I'm all over the place. Slakia. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy all the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to idols and to charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards. You're right. They're going to seek to pretty much anybody that tries to have an answer of why these things are happening, that can predict, that can prognosticate, that can tell you, what's going to happen before it happens. Maybe, get your palm read. Okay. Talk to AI and get AI to help you out. Go to your pastor. Okay. Which is nothing but warlocks. Okay. They're going to seek to their idols. They're going to have the chip inside of them. They're going to try to find out how can they get themselves out of this situation. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. What is this guy Trump doing? He is the cruel Lord, man. These are cruel measures. Not only is it affecting the world economy, this nigga is literally crashing the world economy, which we know is not him. He's the Ronald McDonald of this corporation called America. But they want somebody to blame. You have to have somebody to blame. Who better is it than Trump? You have to point that there has to be a figurehead to point the finger at. Okay? And that's Trump. But he's literally, this attack on Iran is literally an attack on the global economy, because that side of the world comes pretty much the world's energy, the world's fertilizer, and different minerals and rare earth minerals, the processing of rare earth minerals and different shit that you need to sustain this global economy. So pretty much through Trump, they're coming in and they're demolition in it. This is an active demolition on the world economy to do what? To bring the whole world into digital currencies, a digital system. This is the digital revolution. And it's happening rapidly. It's happening so quick. And this is why they have to keep pumping out those distractions. Keep pumping out those distractions. Keep pumping out those distractions. Okay, psychological operations. But the prophets of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai are on your ass, Esau. We're giving the whole world the proper interpretation, the proper breakdown of all things, okay? Especially when it pertains to the future. What's going on now, what happened in the past, and what's getting ready to happen. Your ass is going down right along with all you heathen. And it's not going to stop. Things are going to accelerate. We've been speaking about this for years, decades, starting with our apostles and elders, the elders before them. Okay? You got a couple rinky-dink Christians trying to roll up on the different camps and cause mischief and madness. This Satan's last-ditch effort. You know what? I'm not even mad. It's literally Satan's last-ditch effort. He knoweth that he has but a short time. So them spirits are rousing up because we're at that precipice. We're at that point where all shit is getting ready to break loose, where prophecy is just going to be boom, 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 all in your face. Isaiah 4:1 is coming. The great humbling is coming. Okay, the great salvation is coming. So we're pumped up through the spirit. And you know, them spirits are coming at us heavy. They're attacking certain people in our family. All right, they're attacking our bodies. They're trying to attack our minds, put demonic thoughts in our minds. All right, try to stop us from doing the work. Okay, they're attacking us financially. Okay, but the Heavenly Father has a heavy spirit on us to continue to push this word. And Yahweh Shema Shai willing, we're going to continue to push this word. All right, whether this world like it, believe it or not. And when they come in and roll in, that's it. That's your ass. All right. So this so-called economic D-Day. All right. And I'm pretty sure you watch videos on, the so-called economic D-Day and what's going on. You should be up to par, get off all the booty shaking videos and the basketball highlights. I get it. You watch some highlights and shit like that. You watch some follies and anime, whatever. Okay. But you should be knowing what's going on, man. We ain't in the time of rest, man. We're in the time of working. We're in the time of watching. Watch as well as pray. Being vigilant. Staying diligent. Okay? Your adversary, the devil, walketh around, roaming around, seeking whom he may devour. Okay? It's high time to apply wisdom in every step. Okay? That's dealing with coworkers. That's dealing with family. That's dealing with brothers. That's dealing with yourself. Your diet. Everything. You should be locking in. Because shit is getting ready to go down, man. And to focus on the inward man. Not so much prepping for food and water. Okay, you got a couple of things. You got a little generator. Those are all great things. Okay, I get that. You got some extra beans and rice and shit. I get that. But tap into the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. That is the answer. And that's what this world cannot receive. The spirit of truth in which the world cannot receive. So I'm going to close it there. Until next time, shalom to the elect.